Imagine a world without the soft flutter of butterfly wings or the busy buzz of bees. Difficult, isn't it? Yet this is the reality we face if we don't act now to protect our precious pollinators. Pollinators, in their seemingly small and simple acts, play a colossal role in our world. Their tireless work facilitates the reproduction of almost 90% of the world's flowering plants. Yes, that's right. These tiny creatures hold the reins to the survival of nearly all the world's biodiversity. But their role doesn't end with just flowers. They're also crucial for our food supply. Imagine a plate without apples, almonds, or even the luxury of chocolate. Not too appetizing, is it? That's exactly what our meals would look like without our pollinator pals. They are responsible for 1 out of every 3 bites of food we eat. Unfortunately, our pollinators are facing a hard time. Their habitats are being destroyed, leaving them homeless and without food. They're losing their food sources to monoculture and invasive species. And let's not forget the lethal pesticides, which are supposed to protect plants but end up harming these innocent creatures. Bees in particular are facing a tough time. Colony collapse disorder, a phenomenon where the majority of worker bees in a colony disappear, is on the rise. Imagine going to your home one day and finding it empty. That's what's happening to our bees. Butterflies, too, aren't faring any better. The monarch butterfly, known for its epic migration, has seen a decline of over 90% in the past 2 decades. It's not just about losing beautiful creatures, it's about disrupting an entire ecosystem. But there's hope, and it starts right in our backyards. Each one of us can make a difference. By creating pollinator-friendly gardens, we can provide them with a safe haven, a place to call home, and a steady food supply. It's not just about saving pollinators, it's about saving our world. So, are you ready to embark on this journey? Welcome to the journey of creating a pollinator-friendly garden. Let's transform our gardens into a sanctuary for these amazing creatures. Together we can ensure their survival and ours. Creating a pollinator-friendly garden is easier than you might think. It all starts with a thoughtful design. The first step is to choose native plants. These plants have co-evolved with local pollinators and are naturally more attractive to them. Besides, they are usually well adapted to your area's climate and soil conditions, making them easier to care for. Next, you want to ensure continuous blooming cycles. Different pollinators are active at different times of the year, so it's important to have a variety of plants that bloom in different seasons. This way, you can provide a constant source of nectar and pollen for your winged visitors throughout the year. Now, let's talk about plant arrangements. Diversity is the key here, as different pollinators are attracted to different types of flowers. Try to include a mix of plants with various flower shapes, sizes, and colors. For instance, bees are drawn to yellow, blue, and purple flowers, while butterflies prefer bright red and orange ones. But it's not just about the flower's color or shape. The layout of your garden matters too. Planting in clusters can make your garden more visually appealing to pollinators and help them find their food more easily. So instead of scattering individual plants, try grouping the same species together. Another good strategy is to include plants of different heights in your garden. Some pollinators, like butterflies and hummingbirds, prefer feeding at higher levels, while others, such as bees, prefer lower ones. And don't forget about night-blooming plants. They can attract nocturnal pollinators like moths and bats, adding another layer of diversity to your garden. Lastly, remember that your garden is not just a food source, but also a habitat for pollinators. So, leave some bare soil for ground nesting bees and incorporate features like dead wood or hollow stems for other insects to nest and overwinter. With the right design, your garden can become a bustling hub for our winged friends. So let's roll up our sleeves and start creating a haven for these crucial creatures, because every garden, no matter how small, can make a big difference in supporting pollinator populations. Just as we have our favorite foods, pollinators also have their preferred nectar sources. For bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects, your garden can be a veritable buffet, teeming with an array of delectable delights. Let's delve into the specific types of plants that make up the pollinators' menu. First, we have the native plants. These are the plants that have co-evolved with local pollinators over thousands of years. They are the old favorites, the comfort foods, if you will. For bees, this could be something like the purple coneflower, whose large, flat blossoms make for a perfect landing pad. For butterflies, it might be the butterfly milkweed, a plant that not only provides nectar, but also serves as a host for their caterpillars. Next on the menu are the perennials. These hardy plants come back year after year, providing a reliable source of nourishment for our pollinator friends. The black-eyed Susan, for instance, is a perennial favorite of many pollinators. Its vibrant yellow petals a beacon for bees and butterflies alike. But let's not forget the annuals. These one-season wonders might not stick around for long, but they pack a punch while they're here. Take the zinnia, for example. Its bright, showy flowers are a hit with hummingbirds and butterflies, offering a rich source of nectar throughout the summer months. And finally, we have the herbs. Yes, that's right, your kitchen garden can double as a pollinator paradise. Many herbs, like lavender, rosemary, and thyme, produce flowers rich in nectar. And as an added bonus, these plants offer up a sensory feast for us humans too, filling our gardens with their delightful aromas. So there you have it, a peek into the pollinators' menu. From native plants and perennials to annuals and herbs, there's something to suit every palate. And the best part? These plants don't just feed pollinators. They also add beauty and diversity to our gardens, creating a vibrant, thriving ecosystem right in our own backyards. Remember, a varied menu makes for a happy pollinator. So let's get planting and give our pollinator friends a feast they won't forget. Just like us, pollinators need water to survive and shelter to rest. In the hustle and bustle of their busy lives, bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects need a safe haven to quench their thirst and take a breather. And your garden can provide just that. Let's talk about water first. Clean, shallow water sources are vital for pollinators. They use them not only to drink, but also to cool down on a hot day. Bees, for instance, collect water and carry it back to their hive to regulate the temperature. But remember, deep water sources can be dangerous, as small insects can easily drown. So, how can you provide a safe watering spot? A simple DIY project is creating a bee bath. All you need is a shallow dish, some pebbles or marbles, and water. Place the pebbles in the dish and fill it with water, ensuring that the tops of the pebbles are exposed. The pebbles provide a safe landing spot for the bees, preventing them from drowning while they drink. Now let's move on to shelters. Pollinators need a place to rest, nest, and overwinter. Some butterflies, for example, fold their wings and hunker down in the crevices of tree barks or under leaves when it's time to rest. Others prefer tall grasses or piles of leaves. Creating a pollinator shelter can be as easy as leaving a section of your garden a little wild. Allow grasses to grow tall, let leaves pile up, and consider adding a log or two. These natural materials provide excellent hiding spots and nesting areas. For a more hands-on approach, you can build a bee hotel or a butterfly house. These structures offer a safe, dedicated space for pollinators to nest and overwinter. Plus, they add a charming touch to your garden. Remember, your garden is not just a buffet for pollinators, it's a habitat. By providing water and shelter, you're creating a comprehensive sanctuary that supports their survival and, in turn, the health of our ecosystem. Your garden can provide more than just food. It can be a refuge for tired wings. To truly protect our pollinators, we need to ensure our gardens are safe from harmful chemicals. It's more than just nurturing flowers and providing shelter. It's about practicing responsible gardening. This means saying no to chemical pesticides which, while effective against pests, can be deadly to our buzzing friends. Instead, let's look to nature for solutions. Introducing beneficial insects like ladybugs and praying mantises can keep pest populations in check. They're nature's pest control, and they won't harm your pollinators. Another approach is companion planting. This method involves strategically placing plants together that benefit each other. Some plants naturally repel certain pests, protecting their neighbors in the process. Consider, too, the use of organic, pollinator-friendly fertilizers. They nourish your plants without introducing harmful substances into your garden ecosystem. Above all, remember that patience is key. Natural methods may take a little longer to show results, but the payoff, a thriving, pollinator-friendly garden, is worth the wait. Remember, a safe garden is a successful garden. Gardening for pollinators is a year-round commitment, but don't worry, it's a labor of love. As the seasons change, so do the needs of our pollinator friends. In spring, your garden bursts into bloom, providing a feast for bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects. Summer brings a riot of color and activity, while autumn is a time to prepare for the colder months ahead. Consider planting trees and shrubs that produce late-season nectar and pollen. These will sustain pollinators as other sources decline. As winter sets in, resist the urge to tidy up too much. Leave some fallen leaves and spent flower stalks in place. They provide vital shelter for overwintering insects and their eggs. Remember, every season offers its own opportunities to support pollinators. With a little care and attention, your garden can provide for pollinators all year long.